Hello learners, welcome back to my channel Shraddha's Physics. Today our topic is residue of a complex function. In the previous classes we have already discussed about the singular point of the function. So let me just recapitulate to you. In case of singular point where the function is not defined, that function, suppose it contains f of z equal to 1 by z, where the function is equal to 1 by z. When z equal to 0, suppose, in that case if you will put z equal to 0, then the function remains undefined. So that point is called the singular point, or if it, I can say that if any f of z, or suppose I am writing p of z, okay. This function as I am writing, suppose this is different function, this is equal to 1 by z minus 2. So here you can see that if I will put z equal to 2 in the denominator, then the function will be equal to 1 by 0, or we can say that the function remains undefined when we will put z equal to 2. Then that point is known as the singular point, and except that point every other possible point are known as the analytic point. We know the singular point is of two types. Here I am writing singular point as SP. It is of two types. One is isolated singular point and another one is non-isolated singular point. In case of isolated singular point, this is non-isolated singular point. In case of isolated singular point, when the function contains only one value, for which if I am writing here, suppose this is 1 by z minus 1 into suppose z minus 2. So in this case you can see, when I will put z equal to 1, then the function goes to infinity, or if I will put z equal to 2, then also the function tends to infinity. So it means that for these two value, or it may be like if this will be z minus 5 and so on, whatever. So for z equal to 5, the function tends to infinity. So we can say that for any fixed value or for any definite value, when the function tends to infinity or the function is undefined, then that is called the isolated singular point. You can see that here the value is fixed or definite, you can see 1, 2 or 5. Okay, then these points are called the isolated singular point. In case of non-isolated singular point, for example, if I will consider, suppose the function is, this function equal to, I am writing in different color. So suppose this is 1 by sin z, okay. If I will put in place of z, if I will put z equal to n pi, where n varies from the value of n equal to 0, 1, 2 and so on, there are infinity number of values are possible for n. So if we will put n equal to 0, then this will be sin 0 you know 0. So 1 by 0, the function goes to infinity. And when you will put sin pi, when n equal to 1, that is sin pi, then also that goes to 0, 1 by 0 is again infinity. So when there are infinity number of possible this for n, infinity number of values for n, then there exists the function tends to infinity. We can say the function value, the function tends to infinity. Then in this case the function is called the non-singularity or non-isolated singular point. These points are called the non-isolated singular point. Okay, this is the basic difference between isolated and non-isolated. These points, that point we are calculating, that is, this is actually we are calculating z minus z0. This z0 when remains definite, then this is called isolated singular point. When there are infinite number of possible points are possible, so then this is called the non-isolated singular point. Okay. Now we will see that after we have discussed that this isolated singular point, again it is divided into three types. One is removable singular point, one is called removable singular point, and the second one is called the non-essential singular point, or this is known as the pole, and the last one is the essential singular point. We have already discussed in our previous lecture. Essential singular point. So in case of removable singular point, when you have expand the Lorentz series expansion, if you can remember, our Lorentz series expansion contains, I am writing here the Lorentz series expansion, that is your sum over n equal to 0 to infinity a n z minus z naught power n plus b n z minus z naught power minus n. This is sum over here n tends to 1 to infinity. You can see that in Lorentz series expansion, z minus z naught power positive part and the negative term also exists. But in case of removable singularity, when only the positive part of the Lorentz series expansion exists, or we can say that this is our principal part, this negative term, this part, total part is called the principal part of the Lorentz series expansion. You can see here, we have already discussed that when this removable singularity means when it contains only the positive term, positive part of the series, then that point is called the removable singularity. So you can see here, we have already discussed about this example. Similarly, for non-essential singular point, the principal part of the Lorentz series expansion, it contains the finite number of terms. It means that in case of non-essential and essential singularity, both the principal part exists. It means that z minus z naught term, z minus z naught power minus n, that is the negative power of this expansion exists. But in case of non-essential singular point or in case of pole, it contains a finite number of terms, that is here you can see. In this case, this example you can see this is z plus 2 whole square. So there are two poles. So this is the, for one pole this is z minus 1 power 1, this is the simple pole at z equal to 1, and for z plus 2 whole square this is the pole of order 2 where at z equal to minus 2. And in case of essential singular point, it contains infinity number of terms. So infinity number of terms means this z minus z naught power minus n, it contains infinity number of terms, or the Lorentz series expansion, the negative principal part contains the infinity number of terms, then that point is called the essential singularity. So you have seen the example, that is if f of z equal to exponential 1 by z, and if you will split into the series form, then you will get the number of component. This is the infinity number of terms are here. So this is called the essential singularity. Up to this much we have already completed. Now we will see the residue of the function. Here our actual definition is, we are calculating a residue at the pole. A residue at the pole means, first of all you should remember that pole means when we are calculating this Lorentz series expansion, when this principal, this is your principal part, when this principal part exists, and it contains finite number of terms, then that is called the non-essential singular point or the pole of that function. Okay, this principal part contains the finite number of terms, then that is called the pole of the function or the non-essential singular point of that function. Now comes what is the residue at the pole. A residue actual meaning is that when we are calculating the pole, or we have calculated suppose some pole at z equal to minus 2. So it means that at this z equal to minus 2 point, the function remains undefined, and except that point, we are actually saying except this point z equal to minus 2, every other possible points are known as the analytic, or the function is analytic everywhere except at z equal to minus 2. But the residue tells that this residue at a pole means except this term z equal to minus 2, there remains some points where also the function remains undefined. So that is we are going to calculate except residue at the pole means except this point there also exists, surrounding to this point there also exists some point where the function remains undefined. We can say that when z tends to some point minus 2, then also at that point the function remains undefined. Okay, we will see in detail now. Now first of all we will see there are some cases, some first case I am going to discuss. When the residue at simple pole means it has the order 1. Simple pole means simply it has the order 1. It means that when the function is, suppose I am giving some example, suppose f of z equal to 1 by z minus 2. Here you can see that it has power 1. So, z minus 2, it is in the form of z minus z naught. Okay. So, when this z minus 2 whole power is 1, so this is called the simple pole or the pole of order 1. So, for that case, how you will calculate the residue at that point? So, the first method is the residue at that point. This 2 is here z naught, or we are considering here as a. So, residue at that point f of z equal to a is equal to limit z tends to a z minus a into f of z. So, first of all let me write this. Suppose my function is 1 by z minus 2. Here you can see that when I will put z equal to 2, then the function tends to infinity. So, for that point I have to write f of, let me change the color first. Suppose this is f of z equal to 2, because for the 2 point the function tends to infinity, that will be equal to limit z tends to 2 z minus 2 whole into f of z. Here f of z is 1 by z minus 2. I am directly writing here. This is f of z. Here I am writing this formula, limit z tends to a. Here a is equal to 2. Here you can see that this is a equal to 2. So, here I have substituted limit z tends to 2 z minus 2 into f of z is my 1 by z minus 2. So, if I will cancel this 2 term z minus 2 with z minus 2, the remaining term will be 1. So, this point is called the residue of that function, and we can say that this is the pole of order 1, or this is called the simple pole. Clear? Now, the method 2 for this simple pole will be equal to, if the function is in the form of, suppose it is like, suppose x square divided by sin x, or it may be x square divided by exponential x, or exponential x divided by x cube, whatever may be the function. If it is in the form of fraction, and the condition is that for when we will put the value at the singular point, the function where psi of a is not equal to 0. If it will be equal to 0, but phi of a equal to 0 is possible, then at that point, if, let me tell you again, when I will put, this is suppose x square, I am writing a simple expression so that it will be easy for you. So, suppose f of z equal to exponential x divided by, here I am writing, this is as your x minus 1 suppose. So, here you can see that this is x minus 1 power 1. So, this is the simple pole or the pole of order 1. This is in the form of fraction. Here phi equal to, I am writing here, the phi is here, phi equal to phi of x, here I am writing phi of x equal to, this is exponential x, and psi of x equal to here, the denominator term, that is x minus 1. Okay. Now, you can see that if I will put x equal to 1, then the function goes to infinity, or that is the singular point. So, if I will define this point to be infinity, you know, so for the x equal to 1, the function tends to infinity. Now, when we will calculate the residue at that point, that is residue of f, that is at x equal to 1, in that case what we have to do when it is in the form of fraction. So, you have to first take phi of a, phi of a means this is our, here this 1 is our a. If I will put a, the value of a here, that is phi of a, this will be equal to, this phi of a equal to exponential a. So, here this residue of f of x equal to 1, this will be equal to exponential a divided by the derivative, this is our psi prime of a, we have to calculate. First of all, let me calculate psi prime of x, this is equal to, the derivative of x minus 1 is 1. So, if I will put in place of x, if I will put a, here there is no term of x, so it is simply 1. So, the residue of the function is exponential a. This is the way how you can calculate. When this is in the form of fraction, simply you have to take, you have to first calculate where the function goes to infinity. Okay, you have to first check where the function goes to infinity, that after you have to put the value in the numerator and take the derivative of the numerator and have to put the value there. Okay. This is about your simple pole. Now comes for the pole of order n. When this is the pole of order n, then the first method is residue of f of z equal to a, that is equal to 1 by n minus 1 factorial d by dz of n minus 1th derivative of z minus a power n into f of z at z equal to a. Or the second method is you have to put z plus a equal to t and you have to expand this in the form of Lorentz series, expand it into the series. Then at f of z equal to a, you have to calculate the coefficient of 1 by t. Suppose for example, our function is given f of z equal to suppose 1 by z minus 3 whole cube. Okay, z minus 3 whole cube. So here you can see that this is the pole of order 3. So this 3 is equal to n. Here I am writing n equal to 3. So to calculate the residue at which point? At the point z equal to, you can see that when this is my z minus 3. So when you will put z equal to 3, then the function tends to infinity. So you are going to calculate z equal to 3, or I am writing z equal to 5 here so that you can distinguish these two. Let me write. This is, suppose my function is z minus 5 whole power 3. Okay, so that z will be equal to 5. Here I am putting for z equal to 5. This is z equal to a point, or you can see that this a equal to 5 here. This will be equal to 1 by n minus 1 factorial. So in place of n minus 1, I have to put 3 minus 1, that is 2 factorial. 3 minus 1 is 2 factorial into the n minus 1th derivative. So that I have to write d by dz of n minus 1 means square. So d square by dz square of, again I have to write z minus a power n. So this will be z minus, our a is 5. So z minus 5 power n is 3. So z minus a power n, this is z minus 5 power 3 into f of z. F of z is here 1 by z plus 5, 1 divided by z plus 5 whole power 3. Clear? Sorry, this is z minus, our f of z is z minus 5 power 3. Okay, this is z minus 5 power 3. Here z equal to z minus 5 power 3. So if you will get cancel this term z minus 5 cube with z minus 5 cube, then you can see that d square by dz square of 0 is equal to 0. So the residue will be equal to 0. So this happens because in case of the numerator, this only 1 is present. If I change this question, let me write another example so that the residue should not be equal to 0. Then for that, suppose f of z equal to, here I am writing f of z equal to, suppose this is x cube divided by, this is x cube divided by, suppose x minus 2 whole square. Okay, this is x minus 2 whole square. So when you will calculate for the residue, first of all you have to check our point, that is the first of all pole of order 2. So this is n equal to 2, this power is 2. Okay, and this is x minus 2. Here also you can see that here I am writing x minus 2 means, suppose I am writing here, this is my a point, that is 2. So how you can calculate the residue? So the first of all you should remember that formula, the residue at function, the function at z equal to, the point is the function at z equal to 2 point, you have to calculate a equal to 2 here, and that is equal to the function I am writing first 1 by n minus 1 factorial. So let me write the formula first, 1 by n minus 1 factorial into d by dz of n minus 1th derivative, and again this will be z minus a power n into f of z. This is my formula. Okay. Now if I will put the value of n, that is 1 by 2 minus 1, that will be 1, into d by dz of, this will be n minus 1, here in place of n we will put 2. So, this will be 2 minus 1, that is only d by dz, only first order derivative you have to calculate. Then z minus, in place of a you have to write 2. So, z minus 2 whole square in place of n, again we are writing 2 into f of z. Here f of z is, here I have just substituted, here I am writing actually x, but it is actually I am writing here x. So, that let me change this. So, this is z cube by z minus 2 whole square, this is our f of z. So, this into f of z is our z cube divided by z minus 2 whole square. Okay. If I will get cancel z minus 2 with z minus 2 whole square, z minus 2 whole square with z minus 2 whole square. So, this will be equal to d by dz of z cube, this term z cube. So, the derivative of z cube is, you know, 3 into z square. Okay. Now, you have to put the value of this a point, that point is given. So, for that point if I will put at z equal to 2, so this will be equal to 3 into 2, that is equal to 6. So, this is called the residue of the function at z equal to 2, and if it has the pole of order 2, or you can say that it is the multiple pole. This is the pole of order n, or this is the pole of order 2 what we have calculated. If you think I am going very fast, then slow down the speed of the from the option, and if you are thinking I am going slow, then you may speed up the part. Okay. So, this is all for today. If you like the video, can give a like and share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.